Hello everyone, thank you for joining me for this practice today. My name is Kelsey and today I'm going to guide you through a freedom in form yoga flow. So what this means is that we are going to be moving through a Hatha yoga sequence holding static postures, but with the intention of finding a little bit of freedom within those static postures. So Yoga Sutra 2.46 in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali says Sthira Sukham Asanam. And what this means is that our posture, our asanas, should be stable, sthira, and easeful, sukha. So we're going to be, like I said, moving through classical Hatha yoga postures, holding them for several breaths at a time. And then within those holds, allowing yourself room to find a little bit of freedom, exploration, ease, playfulness, without, deviating from the form of the pose too much. And we can get so much from our practice if we bring in this sense of lightness and playfulness along with the discipline and the focus of the practice. So that's what we are trying to cultivate today. With this in mind, please grab any props that you usually use for your practice. I have a couple of blocks. You don't necessarily need them, but if you typically do practice with them, you'll want to have them close by so that you can always find your variation of each pose. And with all of that said, let's go ahead and get started in a nice comfortable seat for just a couple moments of grounding. So make sure that right away you're putting this intention into practice. Find a seat that feels both stable and comfortable. So letting your thighs become heavy, feeling the sits bones grounding down, and finding length through your spine from that foundation, lifting up through the crown of your head. Shoulders roll back away from your ears and your neck. Eyes can soften and close, and let's take a few cleansing breaths right here in through your nose. Sigh it out. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. And then not holding the breath, just allow for it to start to come and go more naturally, but still bringing some intention behind the breath. And just take a couple of moments to connect with and reflect on our collective intention for practicing finding freedom within form. Maybe acknowledging how having stability gives us a sense of freedom, as well as how ease can be a source of stability. And there might even be a way that applies to your life off of the mat as well. So just bringing that to mind if it's resonating. And then just letting this intention guide you throughout practice. I'll continue to remind you, but keeping it in the forefront of your mind, finding both a sense of stability and ease in the postures. When you're ready, palms together in Anjali Mudra at the front of the heart space, prayer position, opening practice with one chant of Om. Wherever you are with your breath, empty out your lungs. Take a breath in. Exhale to chant Om. Great. Flutter your eyelids open. And then keeping your hands together at your heart, but just interlace your fingers and begin to roll your wrists in one direction. There might be some clicks or some pops. Notice where there is stillness in your body. Notice where there is fluidity and movement. Always there is a fluidity with the breath. So if you ever notice yourself holding your breath, I want you to notice that and come back to breathing in and out through the nostrils. Go ahead and reverse the direction of your circles now. And then come back into stillness, interlacing the fingers, but now pressing the palms forward, straightening out your wrists and your arms, your elbows. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, side bend towards the right. Ground down through your left sitting bone. And think more about keeping the breath really fluid instead of kind of crunching yourself into the side bend. Maybe you don't go as deep in some of the postures today so that you can prioritize finding that fluid breath. Now we're going to take the right hand down beside us for support. Bring the left fingertips to the head of the left shoulder. And we're still leaning towards the right, but now you're going to start taking your left elbow in some circles. And you can start small if you're feeling stiff, just letting them get larger with time. And then reverse. Noticing where there's once again a sense of stability and stillness, and then where is there movement, where is there fluidity and freedom. Take the left arm alongside your ear, another side bend, big breath in. Exhale, left hand goes out and down, and let's do this to the other side. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, interlace your fingers, flip your palms. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, side bend towards the left. Take a few breaths. Really stable through your foundation, through the sits bones, letting your right thigh feel heavy. Feeling the expansion of the breath as you inhale, your lungs and your ribs expanding. And then that grounding sensation on the exhale. One more like this. Exhale, left hand comes down for support. Take the right fingertips to the head of the right shoulder. We're leaning a little bit towards the left, and then begin to take your elbow in those circles on this side. Go ahead and reverse now. Next breath in, reach your right arm alongside your right ear. One more breath. Exhale, right hand goes out and down. From here, you can either roll over to one hip or send your arms out in front of you, roll over your knees, and come around into your tabletop position. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. From here, we'll start to move through some cats and cows. Inhale, lift the sits bones, drop the belly, pull your heart through, lift your head. Exhale, round your spine, chin towards your throat. Press the back of your ribs towards the ceiling. Inhale into your Asana, cow pose. Exhale into your Asana, your cat pose. And now you can start to take it off the railroad tracks if you wish, finding a little bit of freedom in the structure of these two poses, maybe taking your ribs in circles. Again, maybe some pops and clicks, totally normal, totally okay. And whatever more intuitive movement you were doing, just go ahead and try to even it out. Take it to the other side. Take it the other direction. Next time you're in a cat-like pose, you're going to take another breath in. And then exhale, widen your knees, send your hips back towards your heels, reach your arms forward, melt your heart down into Balasana, child's pose. Taking a few breaths here, letting some of the pressure come out of the wrists, stretching your lower back, your hips. And even in the stillness here, where do you sense movement? Where do you feel your breath? How can you use your breath to create more depth? Whether it's a depth of your awareness, your focus, or like a physical depth, feeling more sensation in the posture. And then also take a moment to just make a mental note here. You can always come back to this posture if you just feel like it, or maybe you start to feel tired. This is a good place to return anytime you're feeling like you need a little pause, a little break. And there's nothing wrong with that either. All right, inhale, lift your head. Exhale, shift forward. Walk the knees back underneath your hips. Tuck all 10 toes under. And then we're going to press the hips back towards the heels like we were going into child's pose, but then we'll press through the feet, reach through the arms, send the hips up and back into your first downward facing dog. Begin to pedal out your feet. So right away, finding a little bit of freedom in this form, something kind of familiar, but then just moving the energy around, stretching ankles, calves, shifting hips side to side. And then find some stillness, and just like we did in that child's pose, Balasana, in your downward dog, how can you use your breath to find a little bit more space? Your exhales can help you find a little bit more of that warrior-like energy, that oomph, pressing the floor away, lifting through the low abdominals. Your inhales can help you move into some space. Alrighty, inhale, look towards your hands, and exhale, take any amount of steps to get to the top of your mat. Uttanasana, standing, forward bend at the top of the mat. Let your upper body be really heavy. Bend your knees as much as you need to, so we're taking the rounding out of the lower back and letting the belly drape over the thighs. Maybe you grab opposite elbow with opposite hand, gently sway side to side. And breathe. Another way that we can find freedom in the asanas is the more that we do the asanas, the more they become like a landing, a safe place. And so we can find freedom from whatever's going on in our minds or off of the mat that's causing us troubles. Being liberated from that for a little bit of time through the postures, through the practice. Take another breath in. Exhale, let something go, sigh. Inhale, lift halfway, hands to your shins, flatten your back. And exhale, forward bend. Inhale, press through your feet, rise up. When the hands pass the knees, you can reach the arms out and up, upward salute. And exhale, hands to heart center. And take a breath or two for yourself here to just make sure everything feels okay. Let the energy settle. You might feel a rush of energy from the crown of your head all the way to your feet. And while you're feeling that, can you also feel energy being drawn up through the feet, up through the crown of the head towards the sky? And then let's do a couple of half sun salutations. Inhale on and inhale, reach the arms up, upward salute. Maybe look up, exhale, soft bend of the knees, forward bend. Fingertips to the mat, head is heavy. Inhale, lift halfway, maybe fingertips to the mat or hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, press through your feet, rise up. When the hands pass the knees, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more like that. Breathe in, up salute. Get really long. Exhale, forward bend. Hips go back so the heart goes forward, and then forward fold over the legs. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Breathe in, up salute. Hands past the knees and you reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last one. Breathe in, upward salute. Gathering energy. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up salute. And exhale, hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Right into it. Inhale, chair pose, bend your knees, hips go back, arms alongside your ears. But then remember what we talked about in the beginning. Can you still feel those expansive breaths that we've been practicing? Does the breath feel easeful? If not, adjust. Maybe don't bend the knees as much. Maybe don't send the hips as far back. Maybe keep the arms out in front of you or keep hands to heart center. And while you're breathing here today, I invite you to just kind of wiggle and notice how a little bit of softness can bring more depth into the posture. If you start to feel bored, give yourself a little bit more of a challenge. If it feels too challenging, bring some softness in, some playfulness in. Play around with the weight distribution in your feet. Lift up through the low abdomen so you have that internal support system through which everything else can move. One more breath in here. And exhale, hands to heart center, straighten out the legs, Tadasana. Take an inhale, shift the weight to your left foot. Exhale, step the right foot back, big step, and then drop the right heel down. Turn everything to face towards the right corner of your mat. Lunge into your left knee. Open the arms out wide, your warrior two pose. Virabhadrasana B. Gazing over your left fingertips. Same application that we've been talking about. Where is there stability in the posture? And then where can you bring in a little bit of softness, a little bit of ease? Maybe rolling out the shoulders. If the breath feels stunted, maybe you bring the arms in, maybe you lessen the bend of the knee. Really, if nothing else today, I want you to just prioritize the breath more than how the pose looks. One more breath in. And letting it go. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, let the left hip drop down. Let the right hip kick up. Inhale again. Exhale, reach that left arm forward and then let the left hand land wherever it does naturally. Maybe it's onto the thigh today. Maybe it's just below the knee on the shin, or maybe it can slide down to the ankle. But again, don't worry about how low you're going. Don't worry about how deep the posture is. Where can you breathe? Where can you wiggle a little bit, feel the chest opening, roll back the shoulders? Where can you play with the tilt of the pelvis, the weight distribution in your feet? Let go of a little bit of the mental structure, the expectations. Find some freedom here. Last couple of breaths. Great. Next inhale, reverse warrior, bend into your left knee, reach that left arm forward and up, lean back. Exhale, flow into your extended side angle, left elbow on top of left thigh, right arm alongside your right ear, palm is face down. Find your little bit of wiggles, your freedom. Prioritize the breath. Maybe taking some elbow circles, kind of like we did in that first side bend at the beginning of class. What does it feel like to move the torso, the hips, the shoulders, the arm, the neck? And then land on something that feels good. Take a last breath here. Inhale again, reverse. Left palm comes up and back. Exhale, warrior two. Press through that left foot, hands to the waistline, parallel your feet. Into Prasarita Padottanasana, our wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, hips go back, heart goes forward. Come through a flat back position, hands under the shoulders, and then let gravity take over. Let your head get heavy. Maybe you do some spinal waves here, rolling up through the spine, coming up to a flat back, breathing in. Exhale, waving the spine down. Breathe in, rolling up. Exhale, maybe taking it around in like a circular motion. Explore. That's all I'm asking you to do today. Not so rigid, not so serious. Just enough discipline to find what you're looking for in your practice. One more breath here. And out. Take an inhale, hands under the shoulders, lift halfway. Exhale, press through your feet, nice and strong and stable through the lower body as you come up with a flat back. And now we go to the other side. We're going to turn the right toes towards the back edge of the mat. Adjust your stance as you need to. Lunge into your right knee, arms float up into that T shape. Look over your right fingertips and then ride the wave of your breath. Feeling the swell of your inhale, the depth of your exhale. Nothing matters more in this moment more than your breath. Another breath cycle here. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, right hip drops down. Inhale. Exhale, reach forward. Right hand comes down to wherever it lands naturally. Maybe that left arm stays at your waistline. Maybe the right hand rests on your thigh or your shin. Maybe it feels better to you to completely be free of anything beneath your hands, to play around with the oblique muscles, maybe taking the arm overhead. So many options. It's truly your choice. We also don't always have to do everything the same on both sides, you know? Our bodies are very beautifully asymmetrical. Last breath in here. All right, inhale. Come up, bend the right knee, float that right arm up and back. Peaceful warrior. Exhale, flow into your extended side. Right forearm on top of the right thigh. Left arm alongside the left ear. And find your fluidity, find your freedom. Couple more breaths. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten right leg, parallel your feet, hands to the waistline, heel toe, your feet in, looking towards the top of the mat, and then step up, right foot next to the left. Tadasana, at the top of your mat. Give yourself a few breaths to acknowledge how that pose or how that sequence impacted you energetically, mentally, emotionally, physically. Next inhale, reach your arms up, upward salute. Exhale, forward bend, hinge at the hips, soft bend of the knees. We're not locking out there. Breathe in, half lift. Roll up through your spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step one foot back at a time. Downward facing dog right away. A good breath here. On your next inhale, reach your right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee behind your right wrist. Right toes point towards the left. Walk your left leg back into your pigeon pose. Shift the hips side to side. Wiggle about. Notice how a little bit of free movement can then allow you to settle in more deeply to some stillness as we lower forearms down. You could use blocks underneath your chest or your forearms or your head, or you could just lower all the way down to the mat if this is available in your body. We're going to take 5 to 10 breaths here, depending on the pace of your breath, just somewhere in that range. Free breathing. But just like our other postures, breathing is the most important thing right now. If you can't breathe because the pose is too intense, you need to give yourself some support, come out of it a little bit. Next, inhale, lift your head. Exhale, press through your hands. Lift your upper body. Send your weight to your right leg. Swing the left leg around in front. And then option to extend this right leg long and cross that left foot over. Or you can keep that left heel coming in towards your glute. Cross your left foot over. And make sure that all 4 corners of your left foot are really nicely grounded. Use your hands to the front of the knee to lift your heart. Breathe in. Exhale, twist towards the left. Start to hook the right elbow around the left knee, Left fingertips behind you for support. You can stay right here, but if it feels super bunched up, ease up on the twist a little bit. Maybe you take the elbow to the outside of your left leg. Sometimes that can provide a little bit more space. Shoulders away from the neck. Every inhale, finding a lift. Every exhale, finding some depth. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release back to center. And then either crisscross the ankles, maybe something like a siddhasana, letting the knees drop down, maybe more like sukhasana, supporting your shins with your feet, or with that right leg on bottom, see how it feels to cross that left knee on top of the right, Gomukhasana, cow face. Take an inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, stay here or fold over your legs. Just take it to where you feel like you have the most space to breathe. Where you don't feel locked up. Where do you feel a sense of freedom in this pose? Now inhale, lift your head. Exhale, walk your hands in, help yourself come back up nice and tall, nice and stable. We're going to uncross the legs if you had them in this Gomukhasana, and then see if you can roll over your knees here, bring the hands in front of you, walk the legs back. If that doesn't work for you, then just come into tabletop in any way that does make sense. Tuck the toes, hips go up and back into our last downward dog of practice. So again, use this time to your advantage. Find something that feels good. Last minute wiggles. All right, breathe in, left leg goes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee behind your left wrist, toes towards the right. Walk the right leg back. Wiggle yourself into your version of the pose. Eventually, perhaps lowering down to blocks, to forearms, or laying down. 5 to 10 breaths here. Next, inhale, lift your head. Exhale, walk hands in towards you. Weight shifts to the left. Swing that right leg around. Once again, you can extend the left leg, cross the right foot over, or you can continue to keep that left heel in towards the glute. All four corners of the right foot grounded. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen your spine. Exhale, left elbow around the right knee, right fingertips behind you. Breathe and lift. Exhale, find your posture. Wiggle into the posture. Breathe into the posture. Take any variation with your arms. Prioritize the breath. Another breath in. Exhale, look forward, release, either coming to Sukhasana, Siddhasana, or Gomukhasana. Right knee on top of left. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold down or don't if you feel like you have the most space to breathe when you're upright. One more breath. Inhale, lift your head. Exhale, walk your hands in towards you, coming back to upright. We're going to unravel the legs completely this time, planting both feet to the mat. Scoot your sits bones towards the center of the mat, hands about a foot behind you. Elbows squeeze in. Lift your sternum up towards your chin. On an inhale, press into your feet, press your pelvis towards the sky for reverse table. You can keep your chin tucked, or you can lift your chin up and then let the head drop back. But you should feel a lot of space in the throat. It shouldn't feel like pinching in the back of your neck. So if you feel that, very slowly bring the head to neutral or the chin towards your chest. Free breathing here. Even in this intense posture, where can you find some internal space? On an exhale, chin towards your throat. Set your hips down nice and slow, and then roll all the way down onto your back. Landing in constructive rest pose. You could walk feet to the edges of your mat, let your knees knock in. Hands can rest anywhere on your body that feels good. Just take a moment to allow the dust to settle. Coming to our last couple of postures here, just into some reclined twists. We're going to pull that left knee in towards us, extend the right leg long. Left arm reaches out beside, take a breath in. Exhale, twist towards the right. Breathing in, maybe easing up on the twist to create more space for a deep breath. Exhale, find a little bit more depth in the posture. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, switch out the legs. Right knee in, left leg goes out. Take another inhale. Exhale, right arm beside you, right leg crosses to the left. Take your twist. Again, on the inhale, you can come out of the twist just slightly. Feel the expanse of the breath. Exhale, find a little bit more depth. You can do that a couple more times if that felt good. Next inhale, come back through center. Exhale, set the right foot down and extend the right leg long, coming into Shavasana, our final resting posture. If there's a different variation of Shavasana that would serve you better, you are more than welcome to go there. But if this is suitable and comfortable for you, then just staying here for a couple more moments, finding this ultimate stillness that our practice is always leading us to. After getting out all of the little wiggles, noticing how much easier it is to drop in and just ride the waves of your breath. You'll hear my voice when it's time to come back into this space. Until then, enjoy your Shavasana. Remaining just as you are, start to bring more awareness to your breath again. And let the movement of your breath begin to awaken you. Maybe start to wiggle fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Don't forget the muscles in your face. Don't forget your neck. Eventually, you could take a big full body stretch, breathing in, stretching fingers to toes. Exhale, let it all go. And then in your own time, pulling your knees in, roll over to one side, any side. And slowly press yourself up into a comfortable seat. No hurries, no worries. Just meet me here in your own time. Find a nice tall spine when you do arrive, and then soften any hard edges around this position. Just observe the impact of this practice on you today. Last few breaths here, reflecting on what it means to you to find freedom within form. How form and structure and stability gives space for freedom, for fluidity, for softness, and how softness also creates room for discipline, stability, strength. As you're ready, palms together in front of the heart, Anjali Mudra. Closing our practice with one chant of Om, joining in when you're ready. Om. Thank you all so much for joining me for this practice today. I hope that this practice has served you well. Please let me know how it went for you in the comments down below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do. I release new classes every single Sunday, and I hope that we can practice together again very soon. But until then, thank you. Namaste.